everybody. My name is Abby, and I'm the program coordinator for user experience design. And I want to welcome you to our virtual open house here at Wilfrid Laurier University in Brantford. With me today is Edwin. I'm pointing probably the wrong way.
Good morning, guys.
Edwin's a third-year student in UX, and he's also a video blogger, so I thought he could help fill in my bad video blogging today. So we're going to keep this pretty informal since I can't see you and I can't answer any questions, but we'll drop our emails into the chat below when you get this, and if you want to reach out to us and ask us any questions, we're here anytime, so feel free. All right, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and put some slides up so you don't have to look at me. You can actually, we can go through the program basics. So I'm hoping that that looks pretty good for you. As I said, this is the User Experience Design degree program at Wilfrid Laurier University. The major is offered on the Brantford campus, which I quite like. It's a small town and has a small town vibe. But you can actually pursue the minor regardless of what degree program or what campus you're studying in. So if you're torn between, say, majoring in computer science or business or anthropology or psychology or whatever, and UX, obviously we'd like you to pick UX as the major and minor in psych or something, but you can do it the other way too. All right. Whoops, let me just go through here. So if you're not familiar with UX design, just let me say that it's not just web design. So that's one of the popular misconceptions, right, Edwin? Mm-hmm. Everybody thinks it's just web design. But we approach user experience design from a much broader standpoint. It's true, you will learn how to build super useful and usable websites, but we also teach service design, we teach immersive design. We realize that the user's interaction might be with a product, so we teach a 3D Maker Lab courses, set of courses, and we teach design of experiences, whether they're on or off a screen or in some kind of hybrid. Because the other thing that happens is a lot of the interfaces that we are used to interacting with, like whether it's a screen or a cell phone, those are changing all the time. So if you're familiar with Siri, voice interactions are a thing, and VR interactions are coming up increasingly. So we really approach it from the broadest possible perspective. If you've ever used anything that that didn't work for you or that wasn't easy to use out of a box, it's probably not your fault. It's because it wasn't designed from your perspective from the get-go. And that's what user experience designers learn to do. We're not just graphic designers on steroids. We're not just industrial designers on steroids. We're not just web designers. We are designers who first and foremost look at the human condition. We do research about people. Like, who are the people and what are their problems and what do they need us to design for them and how do they want to go about accomplishing their tasks and goals and things for their life? And that's how we design. We always think about them. These are just a couple of examples of things that just frustrate the heck out of me. Filling my windshield wiper fluid on the highway at night, there's a blizzard, and getting that windshield wiper fluid into my car is always a pain. And I guarantee you, they weren't thinking about me when they designed that process. If it were up to me to redesign that process, you'd put that windshield wiper fluid in your car from the glove box or something inside. Visiting the MTO to get my license renewed, or to get my picture taken for my license, also not a happy experience. You as students will probably have the experience of applying using the Ontario registration and application portal. It's not that user-friendly. as well, applying for student loans and financial aid, not just at Laurier, across Ontario. I'm just going to warn you right now. My students didn't design those sites. If they had, it'd be a lot better. And anytime you go to a website or you pick up a new app and you're trying to figure out how to use it, and you know the information about how to do it is there, but you can't find it, and then you go on to like Google and you end up on YouTube and you find a forum where people tell you or show you how to do it. Well, they wouldn't have to tell you or show you, ordinary citizens wouldn't have to help you if the designers had designed it from your perspective in the first place. Everybody does UX now. It's in every industry. It used to be that you just find it in high tech, but no, it's in healthcare, it's in education, it's in insurance, it's in Canadian Tire has a big UX department, LCBO, Google, of course, Disney. People don't know this, but Disney had UX designers working there, for experienced designers working there for 20 years at least, maybe more. Most cities now have at least one UX designer, if not a whole team. All the banks, you name it. So if there's a particular industry that you want to work in, if you've got a passion for the environment, there's an NGO or a government agency or a nonprofit for you. If you want to work in the banking or the insurance or the healthcare, whatever is interesting to you, they're hiring UX designers. And there are lots of jobs. So in fact, if you went to Indeed or just Google UX jobs, you're going to find lots and lots and lots. The thing is that some companies will use different terms when they're talking about different aspects of the job. So we train our students to be able to go for any of those jobs, not just the interface design, the UI, what they call the user interface. We don't just train on that. We also train UX researchers, which, it's like using psychology and UX research methods to understand the user condition and also to test and see if the things that you've developed are usable. But you'll see things like digital strategists. So we teach UX strategy. We teach front-end development through our web design and development courses. You take courses in social media, PR from the digital media program. So content strategists, we teach information architecture and content management. So you'll get all of these, and the jobs are out there. They're all around the world. So the UX Professionals Association, which is an international professional organization for UX designers, they do a biannual salary survey, and they show where the jobs are, what the entry-level salaries are, what the salaries are 5 years out. It's really useful, and it continues to go up and up and up as UX spreads around the world. So again, if you want to practice UX in a particular place, I've got a student right now living in Romania doing UX. So what kind of classes are you going to take? Edwin can tell you a lot more about this in just a minute, but I will say that most of our classes are very hands-on. You won't be writing a lot of papers for our classes, although you'll take electives in other areas where you will probably write papers. But most of our courses are hands-on with real clients. So this is super important. We start you off from the very first semester working with real clients so that you can build your portfolio. Your portfolio is really important. We teach you how to do it. We have industry partners who come in every year and offer portfolio reviews. So they'll sit with you one-on-one and critique your portfolio and tell you how to make it better, how to make it stronger. So you'll take 2 courses in design thinking, you'll take digital media technology and social media strategy, you'll take UX strategy, you'll have 3 courses in web development and mobile app development, you'll have 3 courses in graphic design, 2 courses in Maker Lab, which is 3D design, you'll take 2 courses in interaction design, which is like human-computer interaction, cognitive, behavioral, affective interactions. information architecture, where we'll cover content strategy. We teach a course in immersive technologies that you have to take. So it's designing actual spaces, whether real or imagined. Research methods course, as I said, it's very much, it sits within social science and psychological research methods. And then your final year will be a full year capstone project where you'll work individually for the first semester, doing a project on your own with a client, and then the second semester you'll work back in an agile team. So we want you to make sure that when you graduate, you have a portfolio that shows both your ability to work in teams in an agile environment, as well as to work on your own. But all of your projects, so many of your projects will be real projects working on real things. We have some pretty cool classrooms. We're not in them right now. Edwin's got some pictures that are a little bit better. In fact, he's way better with the camera than I am. But in the top left is our studio. In the top right and just below it are pictures of the old Maker Lab, which we can still get into if we need to use those, but mostly we don't need those super big, scary band saws for what we make. In the bottom left is our user experience lounge or lab. We use that, students book that to work with clients one-on-one, and also to do things like focus groups or usability testing. So we're able there to use eye tracking and video, and you can also do video conferencing from that room. We do say that our job is to design a better world, one experience at a time. And so as part of that, we partner with organizations like IDEO.org and other organizations like Prepper and the United Nations Design Challenge we host every year. So we run a number of what we call design sprints, other people call hackathons, to try to tackle real world problems that affect lots of people in the world, or could be a local community organization. So for example, we worked last year with the city of Brantford. We had a team of students who were working to help them to figure out how to manage the process and the app that they needed to have built to help manage the flooding of local ice skating rinks, hockey rinks in the park. So this is all done by volunteers. And so our students worked with the volunteers to build an app and a process to help them to manage that better. We also have co-op. And so co-op is competitive. You apply after you've completed your second year. The co-op and career services folks make the determination about whether you get in, and it's based on your GPA, your resume, your extracurriculars, any jobs you've had while you were in high school or for the first 2 years of university, an interview that you do with them. I don't think they look at portfolio, but Edwin has just come through this process and he probably knows better than I do. But then if you're accepted into the program, then following your second year, you apply after second year. And then when you go into third year is when you would begin co-op. So you take co-op workshops in the fall, and then in January, you're applying for jobs. Those jobs typically are 8 to 12 months. So they either start in the summer or they start in the fall, which is a lot of students are opting for that now. But some students go a full 16 months. So I've got one student at RBC right now who's doing that. Yeah, and we have students right now at Ontario Digital Services, at Desire to Learn, at RBC, at Brantwood Community Services, at McAfee and Magnet and Orbis. Royal Canin, I had no idea, but they in fact have a UX design program, and Blue Cat Network. So some of the students are working for startups and others are working for, long-standing, really large companies. But you don't have to go into co-op. So that's another thing. If students want to just get done, they can. I have one student who applied for an internship while she was in, I think it was just going into third year. She was going to do co-op. She'd been accepted, but she applied for an internship just thinking she'd make a little extra money in a part-time job on the side. By the time co-op came up, they'd already offered her a full-time permanent position. So she pulled out of co-op. She's still working for the company and taking her final year of classes and getting done. So that happens too. If you get a job full-time before you graduate, please, please, please stay in school and finish the degree. And that's about it. I'm going to stop sharing. Are we back? We're back. And I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to throw it over to Edwin, who has pictures and also can talk about this from his perspective, which is not mine. Okay, Edwin, over to you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Abby. But yeah, I guess just to give a little quick background on myself, my name's Edwin, and I'm currently a third year UX design student. And I actually came from a science background, actually. So when I applied to UX, I didn't know much about like graphic design, coding, or anything really related to UX. But the great thing about this program is that, like, once again, what Abby said, we come from all types of backgrounds. We teach like different approaches to UX, including like physical spaces and not just digital spaces. So I think in my very first year, like Design Thinking 1, that course where we work with real clients, that definitely prepared me and like opened me up to like what UX is, and like gave me a great foundation for like learning UX in the future. I guess I get a lot of questions asking about the campus itself, Brantford. So Brantford is it's a little bit of a smaller town, and campus is located right in downtown area. So we get to like involve ourselves with the community a lot, and it's really great because in my first year, there were a lot of opportunities for us to join clubs and different leadership activities, such as the FYLP, and that stands for First Year Leadership Program. And I highly encourage a lot of any upcoming first year students to apply for that program, because it definitely gets you out of your comfort zone, and you can run a bunch of events, lots of fun events. There's a bunch of different councils like Art Hawks, research and athletics, residence council. So there's something for everyone. And I think for all you guys in high school right now, I'm pretty sure you guys have something similar like student council. It's basically like that. So it's a great opportunity. I guess talking a little bit more about our classes, we have a maker lab actually, and I guess I can show some pictures of that right now. Here we go. So yeah, we have a bunch of different spaces on Market Darling Center, and this is actually our building that only UX design students have access to, which is an amazing opportunity for us to like be studying together or working together on like any classes that we have. So once again.
Oh, Edwin, maybe I just want to insert here that our students are the only ones, except for game design students on campus, who have 24/7 access to their classrooms through their one card. They just tap their card on the readers. So, you know, creativity can hit you anytime. You know, you might wake up in the middle of the night with a really super good idea, and you just need to get down and build it, or use the 3D printer or something to see if you're right. So our students get to do that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And once again, that includes like the classroom space, and this is like a great opportunity for us to like use the whiteboards and just like brainstorm and just work together. We also have our Mac lab right here, where we have a bunch of Macs, and all of these maps are all equipped with the Adobe Creative Cloud. So that includes Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and basically everything. So yeah. We also have our Maker Pod right here. It's a little disheveled, but this just shows that we actually use it all the time. And we also have a 3D printer in the back, and a lot of students are using that nowadays. And it's really awesome that we have 24 access to these spaces where only us UX design students can collaborate and create. I'm just gonna bring us back here. But yeah, once again, I think the UX design program has been like really amazing in the sense that it's the first program to offer a degree just like this in Canada, I believe. Is that true, Abby? Yeah. So
we're not the only ones anymore, though. Lots of other people have joined the fray now, but yeah, we were the first.
Mm-hmm. And with us being a relatively new program, I think something that's amazing that all the professors do, including Abby, is that they're continually reaching out to the students and asking for feedback, just like how you would approach a UX design project. So if we're ever like struggling with our classwork, or you might feel a little overloaded or just stressed, the professors are always open to like just talking with us and perhaps like just getting us to like figure out how this program can be operated or how this class can be changed so that it's the best for the students. And I think that's something that I highly appreciate for all the professors. It just shows that we're more than just a number at Laurier. We're a community, and we all like work together and just strive to be the greatest and design a better world.
Thanks, Edwin. I think that's true. You're right. Like most of the professors are like user experience designers themselves. They're not just, you know, people with PhDs or what have you that just, you know, stand up and teach theory all day long. Like almost, I'm trying to think if we have anybody who doesn't actually practice what they teach. Everybody does. Like yeah. We're all pretty much in it. And so we're already user focused. And if you guys are, if you guys are the people that we're designing the curriculum for, then we have to be responsive, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an iterative prototyping process in UX.
For sure, for sure.
I know what I forgot to mention. I was on one of my slides, but I'll say it anyway. You can use your electives any way you want. So that's maybe different from other programs that you might be looking at, that students might be looking at. But for example, if you take your UX research methods course and you think to yourself, I love this psychology stuff, this is what makes me tick, then you could actually minor in psych. Or if, on the other hand, you like philosophy, like Joel Schellenberger is way into philosophy and he's minoring in it. It's up to you to decide. We have students who minor in business technology management. So that's a business degree that has a focus on technology management, and it's offered in Brantford. You can take that as your minor, or whatever you want. Digital media, if you really like making digital media, then that can be your minor. Edwin, are you minoring in that?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of thought you might be because you're so gifted in that area.
Thank you.
The other thing I was going to say, and this is something that Edwin reminded me of, is that our students are from, like, they have different kinds of passions and they have different kinds of backgrounds. So to get into our program, we don't ask for a portfolio and we don't ask for math scores. What we've found over time is that we want a really broad and diverse mix of students in the program, because that's what makes for really great diversity in your designs. So some of our students loved their technology and their programming courses, or even they loved their shop courses in high school. Whereas others loved their graphic design or their art courses. And maybe their math skills are not so high, or maybe these people never did any graphic design and they say, oh, please don't make me draw, right? We get you and we pull you all together to work together as a team, and we give you the tools you need to learn how to do all of those other bits. Right?
Yeah,
right?
For sure. Like I wasn't even like taking any graphic design or like that many tech related courses in high school, but just taking like web development 1, I learned how to like do basic HTML, basic CSS, and I feel like a lot more like involved and like prepared, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's about all I've got to say. Edwin, have you got anything else you want to add?
I think we covered most of it. Yeah.
I think so. So again, we'll drop our DMs in the comment section. If not, you can Google me. I'm on the Laurier website. I'm agoodrum at wlu.ca. Yeah, a good rum. Like a bad vodka, a good rum at wlu.ca. And if you have any questions, I think Edwin's on Insta, so you can find him there.
Yeah, and we also have our UX Design Student Association. We're mostly active on Instagram as well, and our handle is just at UX Laurier.
At UX Laurier. So you can connect up not just with Edwin, but with all the other members of the UX Students Association, and ask them for, if you've got questions or just want to hang out and chat with them and make sure that this is right for you. We want you to come, and we want you to succeed. We want you to be happy. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in, and hope we see some of your faces next year. Bye.
Bye-bye.